Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. So glad to be here with you all on a beautiful Tuesday evening. It is August 17th, 2021, and the weather is absolutely just gorgeous outside. It was not too hot today. The temperature was just right, a nice breeze. So we appreciate you guys checking us out tonight. But if you get a chance, make sure you get out and get some of this wonderful weather before the evening is over. Tomorrow, we're expecting heavy rain. We have another great show. Yeah, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. We have another great show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. Sitting in the co-host chair, she's back. She was gone yesterday, but she's back tonight for the Tuesday night edition. Our favorite co-host, the one and only Miss Kay Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. And hello, darling. How are you? And welcome back, my dear. How you doing?
I'm good, Chad Daddy. How are you? It's always good to be back with you. And I just want to say again how I snuck in to see the show last night, and I was just so pleased and so proud of you, Bishop and Christopher. You guys showed authenticity and your vulnerability and the discussions and the topics. So kudos to you.
Yes, absolutely. She's speaking about last night's show. It was a male roundtable discussion. Our co-host last night was Bishop Damone Seraphin out of New York. He's originally from the west side of Chicago. And my good friend, Mr. Christopher C. Avent, he was here last night, and we were talking about Black men in grief and, just stigmas that we oftentimes face when losing good friends. All three of us have lost dear friends within the last 30 days, just unbelievable tragedies. As Chris said last night, a lot of these things probably could have been prevented. A lot of, those that have died from COVID, we still don't understand this. And so it was a very powerful conversation from beginning to end last night. And if you guys have missed the conversation, I do beg of you to please go to YouTube or Facebook to the Real Chat Daddy Show and check out last night's show. It was incredible. Well, coming
Yes,
up
it
on
was.
tonight's show, Kay Renee and I will catch up on all the gossip and entertainment. We have a couple of stories that we need to talk about, some things that have gone on in the news. And then tomorrow night, we have a star-studded show lined up for tomorrow evening. So you guys
Woo-hoo.
get ready for tomorrow night's show because it's going to be really good. But hang out, kick it with us tonight, and do all of those things. So I normally would be in our studio with the green wall and the lights behind me. This is another studio that I use, and this is a studio for my new projects, Conversations of Survival, surviving the COVID pandemic. And so this is the backdrop that I use for those conversations. Today, I had several filmings. What I'm doing is talking to people of all walks of life about surviving COVID. And it's not whether you had COVID, it's just about the pandemic. Period. Where did you find your peace? How did you keep your health in check? And where did you find happiness throughout this entire pandemic? It's been 18 months, Kay Renee, that we've been going through this, and it seems as if we are now getting ready to go back through what I am looking at a possible shutdown, maybe. I don't know. We kind of
I
talked
hope
about this
not.
last night. Um, it was announced today, citing the rise of COVID-19 cases here in the Chicagoland area as a result of the Delta variant. Chicago is issuing an indoor mask mandate for residents, regardless of vaccine status. All individuals aged 2 and over will be required to wear a mask as of this Friday while in any public indoor settings. That's any public indoor settings. This only comes after the city aligned with the CDC last month by recommending masks for those in the areas with substantial or high transmission. And here's the deal. How do we know what is high transmission? How do we know? The way I look at this, you just do not know. That we just found out today that a pharmacist for a major drugstore line had been selling vaccine cards to people. And so, I don't know. What do you think about all this? Because on this show, what have we been saying about us we gonna wear our masks?
To June, November of 2025. That's
That's
when
right.
we will continue to wear our mask. And for those who don't know, well, what the hell is June, November? Well, we're trying to
Right.
talk to President Biden and even other world leaders to say, hey, get on the bandwagon because we're gonna keep wearing our mask until June, November 2025. But to get
Right.
back to your question, Art. It's funny you talk about vaccination cards. I saw a story earlier this afternoon about someone selling vaccination cards on eBay for between $60 and $70. And here's the thing: it was reported on Inside Edition this afternoon, and they
Right.
found the person. And when he got busted, he was like, "Oh, I did here." He was so nonchalant about it. But we talked about this throughout the show that there will be some people who will not do things the right way, and it
Right.
makes it difficult for all of us. It
Yeah.
really does.
Right. Because I really, we're trying to tell the truth. We both admitted to getting the shot. We posted our pictures online of us getting the
Mm-hmm.
shot. When the vaccine was first, out and people were getting it, people were proud and starting groups and things like that. Honey, that started to fall off after a couple of weeks. And you have not mentioned anybody else saying that they've gotten the shot or they're fully vaccinated. And I said to myself, I said, do you know how many people we probably come in contact with throughout the day who have never ever had the shot, nor do they
Oh, I
care to
know.
get the shot? And
I
so,
know.
we were talking last night about this booster shot. 8 months from your first dosage, you now will have to get a booster shot. The president was saying today, that it should be ready by September. I put it to you like this: I'm in no hurry to get nobody's booster shot, because here's the deal: measles, any of the other vaccines that we've had since we were children, we all know that bullet mark that's in our arms right now from when we had to get, booster shots and vaccines to go to school, things like that. We've never had to have a booster for any of those. Now, you may get a flu shot every year, but I don't think this many people have died from the flu. So what do you think about this?
Well, 8 months from now, for me, it'll be the end of the year. And so I have been very cautious, even now, even before the announcement of the indoor mask mandate here in the city. And I will continue to be cautious. So, for those who need the booster shot, for those who are immune compromised, that definitely need it, I would encourage. But also, before you do your research. Talk to your physician. Just don't go arbitrarily say, oh, I'm going to get the booster shot. Because right now you won't be able to get it if you're just, in good health. It's really right now for those individuals who aren't immune compromised. So I'm not rushing to get the booster shot either, but I'm going to still be very cautious, making
Yes.
sure I physically distant with other people, having that hand sanitizer, and wearing the damn mask.
Right.
Period.
Right. Well, now the one thing we found out today, that the new public health order, as far as everybody going back to wearing masks indoors, we did not hear of a capacity limit on public places. So I'm thinking, it's still okay. You do not have to wear them in outdoor settings, which, is okay. But keep in mind, we are now averaging over 400 new cases a day here in Chicago. In the
Wow.
Chicagoland area, we're looking at over 400 new cases a day. Florida reported over 21,669 new cases, and that was as of Monday. Over the weekend, they had 16,476 new cases on Saturday, and they had 17,216 new cases on Sunday. And so everybody's going down to Florida to live it up, party, and have a good time. And Rona, as they say, is spreading herself thin again. This time it's a Delta Rona that's spreading herself thin.
And think about this, Art. You know what happened yesterday and Monday with Kabul, with the Taliban now taking over in Afghanistan. You saw, for those who didn't see the shot of all those Afghan individuals on that plane, it was like they were crowded like, sardines. And so I didn't see any masks going on. They're coming to the States. So I'm hoping, I understand from a humanitarian aspect, but that's something that we have to think about as well. They're going to be all spread out throughout the country,
Well,
right? So
I'm so glad you brought Afghanistan up because it was on my list to talk about. And you're absolutely right. Yesterday, I did not have the volume up on the TV, and I saw the people climbing up the jet bridge. And I looked, and I'm still thinking Spirit Airlines. I'm still thinking, so I go, what in the Spirit
no.
Airlines is going on here? So when I finally
Yep.
turned up the volume and they were saying this was in Afghanistan and those people were fighting and clawing each other to try to get on that plane. And then I'm like you, when I saw the picture of the 675 people on that cargo jet, now keep in mind that's a cargo jet. There are not oxygen masks that would be able to drop down for all 675 of those people. It is a pressurized plane. Then to see the people holding on to the plane as it's taxiing to the runway, just unbelievable, just totally unbelievable. So I don't know, but you're absolutely right. Imagine what kind of illnesses and sickness those people would be bringing with them, the number of people coughing. I can only imagine the odor that was on that plane. And again, our hearts go out to the people of Afghanistan. Wonderful people. When I was a flight attendant, we took a lot of military over to war-torn countries, places like that. But I can only imagine. And we don't know if those people are healthy or not. So you're right. You're right about that.
And I pray for. I mean, you think about when you see a photo like that, you are blessed because we have never been in that scenario, right? So in seeing that, I was just extremely humble and just sending my prayers. But the fact that they're going to be coming to the States, and I'm sure there will have to be quarantined at some point, but
Right.
we've got to have a better plan because when I even heard the news about the Taliban literally taking over like a military coup, I was like, OMG.
Absolutely.
What the
Absolutely.
heck?
And the Taliban is claiming that they are a new regime, that they're trying to be better. Again, while the military was there, women were able to go to school, yoga classes were being taught, all of that was being done there. But now that the Taliban is back in control, we're wondering about a lot of things. Yesterday, our President Joe Biden, he said that we were sent to Afghanistan almost 20 years ago with a clear goals. Get those who attacked us on September 11, 2001. Make sure Al Qaeda could not use Afghanistan as a base from which to attack us ever again. And he said again, a decade ago, our mission was never supposed to be a nation building effort. It was to help the people do what we needed to do and get out of there. And here's the deal. It's time for Afghanistan to take control. The United States has done enough hand-holding, enough coddling, enough of all of that. We just need to move on. But to see those people in that situation like that is just heart-wrenching in so many
It
different ways.
was. It was. So we will see how modern and how accepting and accommodating the Taliban will be in future months.
Yes,
This
yes.
so we will see.
All right, very good. Well, we also want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the people of Haiti Over the weekend, the country of Haiti experienced an earthquake. As of right now, just before news time of us coming on the air, it has been reported that over 1,900 people have perished, and the
Wow.
numbers are continuously adding up. To add insult to injury, a tropical storm came through Haiti, so a lot of those people have no belongings, no possessions, and they are now standing in high waters. It was being shown on the world news that a lot of people are being treated in streets, in folding chairs outside. Hospitals are overran, and they're doing whatever they can. Aid is on its way to assist the people of Haiti. I'm sure there'll be several fundraisers here in the Chicagoland area. We have a quite large Haitian community. Our good friend Kwame Raoul, he is of Haitian descent, as well as quite a few other people. And so we do, our hearts and minds and thoughts really do go out to the people of Haiti behind this situation.
And not only that, let's not forget their Haitian president was assassinated
He
a
was.
month ago. So,
Yeah.
you know, they've gone through, you know, I have a dear friend I grew up with who's of Haitian descent. The moment I heard, I texted her and I said, "Is the family okay?" She let me know that her family was fine, but it's
Right.
devastating in Haiti. So again, our thoughts and prayers are with our Haitian brothers and sisters, because you know it's really, they've gone through so much in these last 5 years to continuously have an earthquake and then a tropical storm, and then, you know, before all that, you know, your leader is assassinated. It's just, it's a lot.
Hmm.
It's a
It has
lot.
been years since I've had any dealings with Haiti. Many years ago, either I had a layover or either I flew in and out of Port-au-Prince as a flight attendant doing
Mm-hmm.
service there. But it's
Mm-hmm.
been years. And, you know, at one point, Haiti was just really a beautiful, beautiful place. But they've had so many just economic problems and just, you know, really third world country issues. And they just keep getting hit with one thing after another. So we do want to keep Haiti up, you know, lifted and do what we can to help them in this particular situation.
Absolutely.
All right, very good. Well, what you got in the news tonight? Let's talk about some stuff. You've been away for a minute. I'm sure you keep me abreast of everything that's going on socially. So what is hot in the news
Well,
now?
here's two things, two stories. One, we were, you know, it's been talked about Brittany. You know, her father has given up the conservatorship, and that's probably good news. Speaking of, you know, people who are relying on other people, everyone knows Nichelle Nichols.
Yes,
Everyone knows Lieutenant Uhuru.
yes,
Guess what? She's having a similar situation as Brittany. Her only child and I think a friend are trying to get uh, a court to for them to have ownership of Nichelle. Now Nichelle, she still is. She is 88 and
right,
she has dementia. So, you know, having and I know both of you and I, we've had this issue about being caregivers. You know,
right,
there's a fine line to making sure that your loved one is taken care of, but also not using that loved one for their money.
right,
And so I guess I'm hoping that her son is going to do the right thing, but time is going to tell on this, because I saw a recent picture of Nichelle and it just, my heart just kind of went to her because I could see the levels of dementia.
right,
So again, um I'm hoping that they'll do that he will do the right thing by Nichelle, because she's well known, well loved, and if a lot of people don't remember, she did not want to do Star Trek. It was up to Dr. Martin Luther King that told her, "You've got to do this for us." And so
right,
she, a lot of people don't know that, because she, you know, she, by her being the only black cast member of Star Trek, and she was kind of hesitant. So it took
mhm.
Dr. King to give her comfort to play that role, and what a role that she played. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, when I read the story, I said, "Oh my God, we've heard this story many times before. We've heard many attorneys and financial estate planners always say, make sure you have everything in order. Who's going to control this? Who's going to control that?" A lot of us never really believe we'll get to that age or we'll be in that situation, and it happens all the time. More and more
yes, it does.
young people are experiencing dementia at an earlier age. My mom, which this Friday will mark 22 years that she's been dead. My mom
Wow.
started suffering with dementia in her early 60s. So, you
Mm,
just never know what the deal is. But again, you also hope that, as you said, the son will take care of business, do the right things, and that his mom's estate and legacy lives on, and it not be a lot
mm-hmm.
of foolishness surrounding the situation, because usually that's what it ends up being, a lot of foolishness.
And who are you telling? Because I mean, I remember I had a great aunt who, she had no children, so her brother was her next of kin, and even though he was her guardian, I don't think he handled her estate in the way that it should have been handled. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay.
But again, my thoughts and prayers are to Nichelle. I just adore her. She is just, even in her golden years, she still looks absolutely fabulous.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. All right. Well, we wish her the best and hope that all pans out. Okay. What else we got on the list?
Locally, now, this is interesting. I shared this story with you. The estranged daughter in law of Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle has been charged in connection with the murder of a woman inside a home in Atlanta. Now, let me break this down for y'all.
You
Now,
wait, before you break it down, you sent me that early this morning. I read it and I had to read it 3 times because it's the
right.
most bizarre story ever, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a true story. So please recap the story for the audience.
Well, basically, she's married to Tony's son, and they lived here in Chicago in Hyde Park. But apparently, she was with some man down in Atlanta. They killed a woman, and she's trying to help cover it up. So you know how detectives are when they see one thing about it. And I will say this to our audience: you may can get away with tax evasion, you might can get away with that, but you will never get away with murder. I don't care if you try to kill somebody, it will always come back to bite you in the posterior.
Yes.
So typically this her daughter Ronisha Preckwinkle was living with a man and together with another man killed this woman, right? In her
Right.
20s, and then she was trying to remove of her. So now she's been arrested. So I don't. I feel bad for Preckwinkle's son. I feel bad for children because it didn't say whether or not Ronisha and Kyle were divorced. She was married to Kyle. She was in Atlanta with this man. Another man went and killed a woman. So I just
Well,
it's very bizarre.
I did read that Cook County Board President Tony Preckwinkle's son and his wife were having a lot of domestic issues, that police had been called to their
Okay.
condo several times. So I don't know if maybe this young lady packed up her things and went to go be with a gentleman down there, and he was probably into all kind of craziness, and she probably got caught up in it. But all I know is that this is a horrible situation to be in, and then to be the estranged daughter-in-law of the Cook County Board President. That's not good at all.
And see, and this is the thing about it. When you, even though you may not be well known, but if you're connected to someone well known, you are always what, as our grandma or even our mother would say, you better be above reproach.
Absolutely, absolutely, you're absolutely right about
Period.
it.
So I hope that she is innocent of these charges. Anytime you help dispose or help have close evidence or doing anything about her, you're gonna get caught up. You better have a good attorney. And see, Johnny Cochran not with us. You better have a very good criminal defense attorney to get you off,
Yeah,
because this doesn't
yeah.
look good for Miss Ronisha.
No, it does not. So I'm sure we'll hear more about that story as it unfolds. What is this I hear about the governor of Texas, Governor Greg Abbott, has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, let me get this right. Was this the same governor, just like that governor down in Florida, who, folks don't need to wear any masks? Matter of fact, our good friend, the late Mr. Chris Moore, remember we had him on live with us one night when they had lifted the ban on wearing masks down in Houston or in Texas. And Chris was saying that, man, we've been open now for a while. We've been open now for a while. That's crazy that now he has tested positive. And what they're calling these cases are breakthrough cases. That's what they're called because, we know someone oh, yeah, if you've been fully vaccinated and now are diagnosed with COVID, it is called a breakthrough variant case. One of our local TV personalities, he, of course, was fully vaccinated, tested positive for COVID, and the dialogue or the way it's being presented now is called a breakthrough case, because that's what these are called, because, this is not supposed to happen and you've been fully vaccinated.
Okay. I have nothing to say on that. Okay.
I'm just telling you.
I mean,
Telling.
even though the news report says he's in good health, he's not experiencing any major symptoms, but, I would hope, of course, is going to kind of say this. They're not going to really accentuate what he's going through. Because remember, a certain former president, I believe he probably had it as well. It was very deep. They capped that on a serious DL. So I would hope that after this experience, the governor will have a change of heart. Because a lot of these politicians who talk about, oh, we're okay, and then they all of a sudden contract COVID, hopefully they'll have a come to Jesus moment.
Right. Because, I mean, really.
But time will tell.
You're telling people, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be just fine. Just keep living, going on with your life. Keep living, going on with your life. But yet, Florida is reporting over 22,000 new cases of COVID. Here in Chicago, we're averaging 400 new cases of COVID per day. And just like the beginning of this pandemic, the numbers were low like that. And before we knew it, the numbers were high. The numbers were in commas. The number of deaths were just unbelievable. So, I mean, I don't know. But yes, they call those breakthrough cases of COVID when you are fully vaccinated and you end up still catching COVID.
Well, this story that I think you sent to me, is not a breakthrough case. It saddened me dearly that a husband and wife, died 19 hours apart. They contracted COVID. They were not vaccinated. They had planned to get vaccinated the week before they died. And this couple was married for 20 years, but they both died of COVID within hours of each other, leaving behind 2 children. And that's the sad part. I mean, they're an African American couple. They met in college, fell in love, got married. Husband was a chemist. Wife was a stay-at-home mom. They had 2 beautiful children. But he didn't really, even though he knew about, like we talked about, getting your measles, getting the mumps, whooping cough, all these vaccines. He didn't think when the vaccine came about for COVID, he wasn't too excited to take the vaccine. So he waited and waited. And guess what happened? Contracted. The whole family did. Kids were in the hospital. Both husband and wife were in the hospital. Husband did not survive. His wife died 19 hours later. And that just when I read that story and I saw the liveliness of both of them, it broke my heart.
Because this is an African American couple, correct? They are African, right? Okay,
they are African American. Yes.
Okay, so I have one better for you, and we were supposed to talk about this last night on the show, but we never got around to it, and I said I'd save it for today. An African American family had traveled to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Well, it turned into a nightmare when 3 of them tested positive for COVID-19 before boarding their flight back home to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Yolanda Cumrich says that her husband is on a breathing machine after testing positive. He and their two daughters were not allowed to fly home because they had all tested positive for COVID. She ends up coming back to the state, and when she got back to the states, she ended up testing positive for COVID and ended up coming down with COVID. So once the husband had been in, there for a minute, they tried to figure out how could he get back to the United States. This is way before the ventilator situation. So,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you don't have to take a COVID test to ride a bus. He
Right.
and the two daughters got on a bus and was headed from Mexico back to the United States when he took deathly ill on the bus, had to be transported to a hospital, ended up being put on a ventilator, and the hospital didn't even have a proper telephone system for the wife to be able to check on him. She was able to get the daughters back to the United States, but the husband was still in danger. I'm reading now where the husband has actually been airlifted. And here's the deal, people, and this is what we're trying to tell you all. Your insurance is not going to pay for all of this. Your insurance is not going to pay for all this. If you own that government insurance, that ain't, baby, that ain't, all of that ain't covered in that insurance. And these people actually had good insurance, and the
That's
insurance
right.
did not. The wife, if I'm not mistaken, said she spent about $11,000. Well, matter of fact, they charged them $3,700 for oxygen for 24 hours in Mexico. Just for him to have oxygen to breathe, it was $3,700. And their insurance would not foot the bill on any of this. So the husband has now been airlifted to Los Angeles, from what I'm reading in the updated report, and he should be headed back to Louisiana once they're able to stabilize him. But she drove back from Baton Rouge to El Paso, Texas, thinking that she would be able to get him that way, and they couldn't, and they had to end up airlifting them.
Again, I when you sent me that story and I reviewed, I was like, wow. What I mean,
Right.
the average family has to go through. I mean, and as you said, they had good insurance.
Good,
Okay,
good,
not no
good, good.
good insurance, and
Right,
they had to pay out of pocket over close to $20,000. That's a
right,
lot of money.
right,
So when you have a family, and now the kids are going back to school, and there's still a strong uptick for kids being in the hospital due to COVID. So I'm not a biological parent. To send my child to school, I would have to make sure that person had my child have a mask on, because
right.
you don't want to endanger your child. You just don't.
No, no. Well, what do you think about the whole going back to school thing? Because here in Chicago, there's a petition going around where parents are asking that remote learning still be an option for their children. They don't feel safe by sending their children back to a classroom situation. Of course, Chicago public school systems have said that your child would have to have like a extreme medical condition for you not to have your child back in school. Certain circumstances where you just cannot get vaccinated would be the reason. Now, keep in mind, I did not know this until I heard this on the news last week. But did you know thousands and thousands and thousands of children went AWOL last year during the remote learning? Like,
I
like
believe it.
I
No,
mean,
I
if
believe it.
I don't want to
I believe it.
misquote, I don't want to misquote, but I think that they said something like 50,000 children went AWOL last year during the height of the pandemic and with the
I
remote
believe
learning
it.
situation.
I
And, I,
believe
and
it.
I'm thinking to myself, what happened with that many children? What happened with their learning? To me, school is fundamental learning. It's teaching you all of the things. So I'm thinking all of these young boys out here robbing and stealing and wilding out, those are probably the ones that were not in school last year. You know what I'm saying? Whether remote or whatever the case may be.
And think about the parents. A lot of, not all kids, but I'm sure they come from single parent homes. and depending upon their parents, if they had to be out, if they're work in the medical field, or if they're those essential workers that they had to work. Well,
Right.
yeah, I can. I mean, that's not unusual to me to hear that. It's sad, but I'm not surprised.
No, no.
And unfortunately, I mean, you think about this, Art. When we were their age, could we have survived being a whole year without not seeing your classmates, not getting the fresh air that you need when you have recess, having
Right.
that social interaction? It can the anxiety level of not only just kids, adults, period, is
Right.
on a high here. So I'm not surprised. If as I said, I would hope parents should have the option, especially if the parent has an immune compromising health condition that they may not be able to send their child to school. So
Hmm.
I think there may be they should consider maybe hybrid learning, having them come one day a week and then be at home. I don't know what's gonna work, but
Right.
now it's August, it's school back to school time. A lot
Yeah.
of kids are going to college. I have family members that just went. One went to Kentucky State, the others at Alabama State. Um, it's going to be a whole different lay of the land for college students now.
Right. Yes. Very
So
much.
I shared. You asked me this question, I think last week. Do you think we'll have a partial shutdown if these numbers still continue to increase? Yeah, I
Yes.
see it.
Yes. Yes. Just a reminder for everyone who's in the Chicagoland area, Chicago Public Schools open up on Monday, August 30th. Usually it's after the holiday weekend, but no, school officially starts Monday, August 30th. So make sure you guys get yourselves together, get in gear, buy your face mask, do what's necessary to have those face masks so these young children are able to cover and protect themselves. Buy plenty of hand sanitizer. On this show, we've been huge advocates of wearing masks. We often say every day that we're on the air, we say it all the time that we're going to be wearing our mask until Juvember of 2025. It's just that easy, just that simple. Cover your damn face, cover your mask, all of that. That's right. Sanitize, keep them hands clean, do all of that because this virus has not gone anywhere. A lot of my neighbors don't wear masks. A lot of the maintenance people. I mean, people just. I'm not getting it, and people like, oh, this damn mask ain't helping to stop the spread of this virus. I don't know, but I wear my mask whenever I get a chance. If I'm outside, it's
I think
something different.
I think I mentioned this to you. New Zealand, they shut down everybody. If you're not a resident of New Zealand, you can't come. And they
Right,
only had, and since the start of the pandemic, let me say this slowly, only 6 deaths from a country or as 5 million residents. Only 6 deaths.
right,
That says
right.
something. So
Yeah.
don't tell me we can't do that. We just choose not to. That's
Well,
all.
keep in mind when this pandemic first broke out, um, Jamaica had very low numbers, had super low numbers, and then their numbers started upticking. Then, of course, our good friend, Miss Erica Watson, went over and contracted COVID and ended up dying over there. And she was only there for 6 months. So, within a 6 month time period, Jamaica went from very few cases to very few deaths to then hospitals overran, not being able to treat people, and all of that. So you just don't know. And in my heart of hearts, I see this happening again now with this Delta variant.
I do too. And it's, I think one thing that we can do to help everyone is to continuously communicate. Please wear the damn mask. Practice physical distancing and have plenty of hand sanitizer. That's going to get you there. And make sure you eat well. Make sure you build that immune system. Because guess what? Because we live in Chicago. I don't know about the rest of the country, but I know we live here. Winter is coming. It's not a
Right.
matter of if, it's just a matter of when.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You're absolutely right about that. You're absolutely. So make sure
Hmm.
you guys are taking care of yourselves. Wash your hands, wear your mask, social distance. They've really not been talking about social distancing anymore, but I just really don't feel like people being on top of me. Just get back,
Okay.
and do what's necessary and what's needed. I need to protect my space. I do. Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy, coming to you tonight from my other studio. This is the studio that I use for conversations of survival, surviving the COVID pandemic. And let me take that back. It's conversations of courage, surviving the COVID pandemic. I have to get that title right. I've been so busy working on the show. Today, I've been filming people of all walks of life to talk about a pandemic. We've not heard of anything like this for over 100 years, and here we are, 2020. A pandemic hits us. It's a lot of adjustments. A lot of us had to make a pivot. So those conversations will be coming out very soon. And my guests today were just some of the most fascinating people ever. And I have more interviews that I have to conduct tomorrow. So don't be shocked when you're asked to do a one-on-one interview with me. And this is the backdrop for those interviews, because it's all about peace, health, and happiness. That's what it's all about.
Amen.
Be on the
Amen.
lookout. Be on the lookout for those conversations. That's what it's all about. Conversations of
Amen.
yay, amen. Very good. All right.
Amen.
Hey Renee, what else we got to talk about, my dear?
Well, I want to talk about a light story. Typically I know you play your number every now and then. I play my number every now and then. Well, guess what? This particular gentleman won the lottery not once, but twice within weeks. This unarmed man, he hasn't, unnamed man, excuse me, unarmed. I hope he's unarmed. But this unnamed man won his first lotto prize on July 16th, collecting an impressive 40,000, which was bought, the ticket was bought in Myrtle Beach in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Then 11 days later, he did it again. And this time, he won on July 27th. Guess how much he won, Art? We need to find this man. $3 million.
What?
And the report is said unnamed, because apparently, perhaps South Carolina, you can yes. turn in your ticket anonymously. Can't do it here in Illinois, but maybe in South Carolina. But we need to do some digging. I need to find out who this man is. But
won the lottery in one of those states, and they ended up wearing like a cartoon character, like a mascot head. They ended up wearing like an emoji head to the receiving of the check and the prize and that type of thing, because they wanted to remain anonymous. And that's kind of what I would want to do as well, too. I wouldn't want people to know, because here's the deal. When I go to claim that prize, I need to move. I need to be put in a witness protection.
Hey, that's right. I've already put it out there that when it happens, one of my dear friends who is an attorney, I have this code. She knows if I text that phrase, she knows what to do. Literally, she's like, I got you. So, but check this out. According to the South Carolina Education Lottery, the man had 1 in 931,001 chance of winning his initial prize. For the $3 million, the odds of winning are even slimmer, 1 in 13 million. So he has not become famous yet, but obviously whoever he is, congratulations to him.
I wonder how old is he? I wonder, you know what I'm saying? Right. Like,
is he married? Is he married?
All of that. Look, right.
Does he have any children?
Girls, right. Look, can we convince him to like both of us? I mean,
okay.
Right. Look, you can love us both, and we ain't gonna say not one word. We'll be
not a word. You can adopt me, okay?
Right. We at that age now where we can accept a lot of snit and just be like,
okay, just put that money in the account. That's all I have.
Put that money in the account, Daddy. You gonna do what you gonna do anyway, Daddy. So just
exactly.
Don't make a fool of us. Look, don't embarrass us in public. But Daddy,
that's right.
Do what you do best. Yes, absolutely.
Do what you do. But no,
Do what
I
you
wish
do.
him congrats. So maybe we need to go to South Carolina. Obviously, that's a lucky spot. Maybe we need to just fly down
Right.
there for the weekend and play a lot, play a number, then come on back and see what happens. But that's kind of
Lisa,
cool though.
Lisa Russell said on my other Facebook page, she says, does he need a caregiver? Absolutely.
I know that's right.
There's not a word, right? Wouldn't repeat not a doggone thing about this. Thanks to everybody who's checking us out tonight. Hey, Crystal. Crystal said travel insurance. So now here's the deal about the travel insurance as we kind of go back to traveling and COVID. To my understanding, from what I have been seeing on national news shows, travel insurance is so expensive right now, and there's a clause in the travel insurance that kind of speaks about COVID. They've redone the whole travel insurance
I
thing.
bet.
I remember, going on tour groups and going to Italy or to Switzerland with a group of people, and the travel agent would say, hey, make sure you guys buy the insurance. They'll tell you a story about a lady got off a bus, slipped and fell, all of that. No, insurance is super expensive right now, and there are clauses in there that it's either only so much they'll spend on you a day, or if something happens to you, it's your fault. Now Jamaica is requiring you to have travel insurance before you even come there. They're requiring that.
Interesting.
Right, right. And that kind of happened after that particular situation that we were talking about earlier, that they required you
Wow.
to have travel insurance. Absolutely.
I
Yes.
guess
So,
they have to protect. They want as less limited liability as possible.
right.
I can understand. I may not like it, but I understand.
Oh, absolutely. Well, as I said before, I plan on doing no international travel until all of this has calmed down. Most people think of Hawaii as an international destination. As many hours as we were on that plane to get to Hawaii, it felt like it was an international destination. But keep in
Yeah.
mind, Hawaii is still the United States of America, and they got a government hospital just like any other place in the United States. And so, that's what I didn't fear going there, but I don't necessarily know if I'd be trying to go over too many other waters right now with the situation being the way it is. You're welcome, Crystal.
Absolutely.
He said, thank you for the travel insurance update. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, they're saying that it is extremely expensive, and they put a lot of clauses in the insurance riders. I'll just put it to you like that.
That makes sense. So, for
Yes,
me, what my favorite travel spot is. Because someone asked me, "Would you go back to Aruba?" I said, "Not now."
right.
Aruba is one of my favorite places, but I wouldn't go to Aruba right now. I said I may
No,
wait for a
no,
couple of years, but not
yeah,
this year or
no,
not
not
next year
right now.
either.
And it looks
Mm-mm.
good to see everybody traveling. I think it's so
Mhm.
beautiful when it's people that look like us that are traveling, having a good time. I know somebody that just got back from New Orleans this weekend. And speaking of travel advisory, you guys, of course, the city of Chicago has added more places to the list of places that you all cannot go now. Kay Renee, you had been talking about your wonderful trip to Las Vegas. Uh,
Mhm.
is that still something that you're looking to do, or have you
I
not?
am. I
Okay,
am.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. We walk in faith, so we're
We
not.
do.
Yeah, we walk in faith. I mean, you didn't tell me not to go to Hawaii. I'm not going to tell you not to go to Las Vegas. But let me give you guys the latest update. The
Okay.
Department of Health has added 8 more states and Washington, D.C. to its travel advisory. They are
Oh no.
Minnesota, New Jersey, North Dakota, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Utah, Virginia, and West Virginia. And
Wait a
so
minute.
these,
Okay. I can understand every other state except one. What the heck in North Dakota? Come on now. I don't get it.
believe it or not, North Dakota has some rocking places. I do know. I know people of color that live in North Dakota. I've had layovers in North Dakota, and they hit it in North Dakota. But yes, North Dakota. I mean, a lot of people have been doing road trips this summer. RV rentals and sales are at an all-time high. And so people have been exploring the great outdoors as a part of this to kind of, get through the COVID fatigue. People are laughing. Lisa Russell said, right, North Dakota. Yes, North Dakota. Some of y'all been there passing Rona around in North Dakota. So yes, that's the situation and issue we're faced with now. Yes, North Dakota is now on the list. So,
Lord have
so
mercy.
now it stands at 39 states and 3 territories. Any unvaccinated people traveling from these states and territories are advised to obtain a negative COVID-19 test result more than 72 hours prior to arriving in Chicago or quarantine for 10 days upon arrival. So, when I travel now, I just stay where I almost stayed 12, 15 days. Everybody was like, man, we thought you was going to be there forever. Well, I'm just telling y'all. Oh, wait. Oh, okay. So Vicky said, Valerie said, I'm going to Hawaii next week. Valerie, I'm not scaring you, my love. You're going to have a great time. Just be careful. You know what to do. If you've been
That's all.
surviving, doing what's
Exactly.
necessary here, you know what to do. When I first got there, I took a picture on the TV. It was 48 cases. Remember, I showed you that on July 5th.
Right.
Time we need
Right.
to leave, July 18th, I think it was. The case numbers had started rising, but they do everything right in Hawaii. They do, sanitation, they space people out. Most of the things in Hawaii is open air anyway, so we sat on patios, things like that. But no, Valerie, go and have a great time. You're going to enjoy it, but
That's
just be
right.
careful. And if you are a
Right.
germaphobe like myself, honey, you know what to do. Wrap it up, mask it up, all of that
That's
stuff. So
it.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, don't let your guard down.
That's it.
You'll have a wonderful time. So
No,
no, we're not trying to scare you,
not by
Valerie.
any means.
Yeah, going on to
But we
Hawaii.
want
That
we
the
want
plane
we
flight
want you to
almost took.
be right. We want you to be mindful, and God gives what, Valerie, common sense.
Right, right.
So it's
Yes,
time to make sure you use that common sense. That's all.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. All right. Well, Kay Renee, what else we got to talk about in the news today? Oh,
Well,
oh,
guess
oh.
what?
What?
A millennial. Check this out. A millennial, and she's a sister, bought Ebony and Jet for $14 million.
Wait, Ebony and Jet magazine? Because
Ebony,
I thought a black man had bought it a year or so ago. Am I right? Right.
according to this is in Black Enterprise. Miss Eden Bridgerman, she bought this for Ebony and Jet for 14 million. She plans to take those magazines to the next digitally. I thought it was
I'm
interesting.
wondering if she got it from the man who ended up buying the rights to it. I'm gonna have to talk to somebody about that because I thought like some black millionaire or somebody had bought the rights to Ebony and Jet. Maybe he sold it to her, or is he putting it in her care to take it to the next direction, or is she now the owner of it?
Well, apparently, now even though she's a millennial, she has bank, or she has support, because
Right.
her father was former NBA player and entrepreneur Ulysses Junior Richmond, and I guess they had a conversation about purchasing Ebony. So they purchased these legendary publications for 14.
So okay, so maybe that he did pass it down to his daughter. Maybe that's what it is because I'm gonna have to do some research. And when we talk tomorrow evening, I thought a black man had already purchased it. So what he's probably doing is passing
That
it
could be.
on to his daughter. Okay, then that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, but it
Shout
was
out
in
to
Black
my girl.
Enterprise, and I said,
Yeah, okay. He was the
"Go
one
ahead,
that bought
sweetie."
it last year. Thank you, DA Rose. Okay. I know I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
He did buy it last year, but I guess he's now putting his daughter in charge of it and making it hers, which that makes sense. Pass on a wealth, pass on the legacy, all of that. So that makes good sense. All right. Shout out to our friend Ginger. Ginger is in Guam. She is watching us from Guam tonight. Ginger, you know I follow
Oh, hi, Miss Ginger.
social media. She just changed planes in Hawaii. She flew from here.
Oh,
She
wow.
flew from San Diego to Hawaii, changed planes in Honolulu, and went on to Guam. And she was just saying that they are very serious about the screening. Yes, they are, because I went before they lifted the restrictions in Hawaii, and they were very serious on us. Matter of fact, I hadn't uploaded the right document, all of that. But now, Ginger, I got to get the tea from you, because I saw where you said when the plane landed in Guam, 4 people were taken off the plane in handcuffs. So, Ginger, I need to know the backstory on that. What the hell was that? People acting a fool, right? Like, my God, you done been on that plane
Say
50 hours.
what?
Right, yes. She said that
And they gonna put you in handcuffs? Oh
right.
my
Yes,
God.
yes, absolutely. Isn't that crazy?
Uh,
Thanks, Ginger. I appreciate you. But I've been following you your whole trip, and we appreciate you watching us tonight from Guam. We international, baby. We all in Guam.
oh, honey.
Right.
I tell you, I love it.
Yeah,
I
we
love it.
can't
And you know,
spell
we gotta give
Guam. We can't spell Guam, but
yes, we
we
can.
yeah.
But I still want to give a shout out. I don't know if he's sleeping. Shout out to Miss Tammy Gibson. She has been
Yeah.
showing Africa like nobody's business. I have been following her since she landed, and I just feel like I'm right there with her. So, Tammy, if you're
Yeah.
listening, we love you. Continue to be safe. Thank you so much for
Yes.
sharing your journey with us. Oh,
Absolutely. Tammy Gibson of Sankofa Travel. Her, as you guys all remember, she was on the show with us about 3 weeks
mm-hmm,
ago. She's always on the show. We just love and appreciate her. She
mm-hmm.
has been in Kenya now for the last 2 weeks. Matter of fact, she was leaving that Friday. We had her on the show on a
Yes,
Tuesday night. She was leaving that
yes,
Friday. And her videos have been amazing. Her pictures.
yes,
She even showed where she was at one resort and the monkeys were taking over.
yes.
Baby, I thought she was on 79th Street. I said, what? I said, what? I
No,
said,
you didn't. Now
I
you
did.
know
I thought
better than
she,
that.
no pun intended about, black folks and monkeys, but I had just never in my life, they were snatching people food and climbing up balconies. And I said to myself, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy. What is going on here? So, yes, Tammy, your pictures have been incredible, and we cannot wait to talk to you about your trip. So, Ginger says
Yes.
it was warm and rainy in Guam. That's all the time. It is. It's been a long
Okay.
time since we've been to Guam, but absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Ginger, for that. But yes, so Valerie, have a good trip to Hawaii. Take lots of
Yes.
pictures. Take comfortable shoes for walking. If you're going to Honolulu, you'll love it. I have some friends who are in Lanai right now. They're at a high-end Four Seasons hotel, and their pictures have been amazing too. They're on a 10-day retreat in Hawaii. So yes.
Nice.
All
Nice.
right.
Nice.
All
Nice.
right. Very nice. Absolutely. All right, darling. So what else do we need to talk about?
I think we've covered everything. I think
I
we've
do
we've
too.
covered. I do. I'm excited about. It's always good to see my big brother, and definitely make sure everyone that if you haven't subscribed to the Real Chat Daddy, go to YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and hit that bell so you can get all the latest news and when new shows are coming. And you can always see our performances like the one last night, which I highly recommend for those brothers in our audience. Please check out the encore performance with Art, Christopher, and Bishop. Very good show last night.
Thank you, darling. Yes, it was. It was really good. I slept well last night after that show because we really
I
did talk
bet.
about a lot of different things. And I love when we as Black men are able to express ourselves the way we did last night. It was really great. So listen, coming up tomorrow night on the show, make sure you guys are hanging out with us tomorrow night. We have a really great show. Singer, songwriter, Emmy nominated actress, and personal power practitioner Rhonda Ross will be joining us tomorrow evening. Rhonda Ross is the daughter of iconic singer and actress Diana Ross, and her dad is Motown legend and music icon Berry Gordy. Rhonda is Diana Ross's oldest daughter. They were on tour together in 2019. Rhonda and I met, and I just love and adore her. She'll stop by tomorrow night to talk to us about the force within, which is a way of helping women mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to tap into being the best woman possible. Tomorrow night, we're calling the show Woke Woman Wednesday. And so Rhonda's our first guest tomorrow night. And then we have another phenomenal guest who's going to be joining us to talk about equality for women of color in sports. We welcome to the show tomorrow night professional female football player and attorney, Michelle Dunham. And she'll be here tomorrow night to talk about equal pay for women in sports, especially after the Olympics. You know what I'm saying? And then what I thought was so cool was the mom and son that both won medals from the Olympics. Isn't that something? Imagine your mom was an Olympian, won a medal, and she gave birth to an Olympian, and now you both have medals. And that to me is just phenomenal.
Amazing.
Amazing in many ways.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Real quick before we go, we didn't get a chance last night to mention this. I am so over all of this damn crime in Chicago, you all. I know crime is everywhere you go. When I travel, I watch the news everywhere, every city. I'm sorry, but our crime here is just horrendous. We've had over 32 children killed this year alone. Yesterday, a 70-year-old grandmother was killed while waiting to go into her job. She worked at a supermarket over a community, a bodega, a small little store in the neighborhood of Hedgewick. They almost consider themselves a town over there. They are one of the last neighborhoods in the Chicago city limits on the east side. They border Indiana and they border south suburbs. Well, Miss Yvonne Rurich, 70 years old, was shot 7 times by 2 young men yesterday as she was waiting on her boss to come open up the bodega where she worked at. People just loved and adored her. I guess, you know, she served coffee and donuts to people every day. It was like a cashier clerk there or whatever. It's just horrible that this has happened. I have spent much time over in the Hedgewick area. It's a lot of city workers, a lot of police officers, firemen, a very heavy Hispanic population over there. I do know of 2 African-American families that live in that area. One of the best Pete's produces is over there off of Avenue O. So I've spent quite a bit of time over there, and I've never had any issues or problems. And this is just really sad that that lady lost her life like that to just silly gun violence. But it almost, K. Renee, looked like it was a hit. You know what I'm saying? Because you done already shot the lady.
Right. I saw the video and I just said, like the east side, I like the east side. Every time I would drive to Indiana, I go through Hedgewick. And, they're a community. They're a family there. It's not just Hispanic or other ethnic origins that live in Hedgewick. And, they have just everything there that you want. And it's just really, she was a grandmother. She was everyone's grandmother. They say to know her is to truly love her. And it's just, my thoughts and prayers are with her family. And, even with these 2 individuals that shot her, obviously from what the conversation that the 3 of you had last night, there's something wrong. There's a disconnect with our youth. It's just like they need to feel that they need to have this respect. Although if you're looked at with a gun that you're respecting them, that's not it. There has to be something that has to change. And
Absolutely.
Like you are, we've lived in Chicago. We've seen the ups and the downs of crime, but I have never seen this much violence in a long time here, and it's just really sad.
Absolutely. And we didn't get a chance last night to speak on this either, and I figured you and I would wait to talk about this tonight. Our hearts go out to the family that lost the one daughter, and the other daughter's in the hospital. The 6-year
Yes.
old is still recovering. The 7-year old was killed on the northwest side of Chicago. I appreciate the fact that the parents were well spoken. The dad just broke my heart when he said he wished it had been him versus his baby. The mom was
Right.
just putting the children in the car after visiting relatives, and something like this happens. This is just crazy, but yet people want to be community activists and vigilantes and want to do this and want to do that and always on the news. Y'all know who these people are committing these damn crimes. Half these people live in your houses, half of them related to you, half of you.
Yep.
We folks know who folks are. Chicago
That's
is
right.
big, but it's small when it comes to SHIT. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's right.
It's big, but it's small when it comes to SHIT. Because I have a friend that I guarantee you, if anything happened in the streets, he can tell you who they related to, who their cousin is, where they grew up, where they went to school, all of that. Why can't the police figure this out? When the police officer were killed, those guys were apprehended in no time.
Quick.
The
Like that.
babies get shot. The one girl died. We still haven't heard anything. A reward of $2,000. Same way with the grandmother that got killed yesterday. This is out of
Right.
control. This is out of control. It really is.
And again, my heart goes out to that family because I heard the father. He said, "I'm not in any gangs. I work
Right.
for the city. I'm a work for the CA. You know, I'm trying to do the right thing with by my family, and this
Right.
happens. It just
Yeah.
it breaks your heart. It really
Yes.
breaks your heart.
Yeah, it was. The mother and father, both well spoken, very well poised. Just
Hmm.
again, innocent people losing their lives over just foolishness. Yesterday, before we went on the air last night, I heard rapid gunshots. It had to have been at least 20 gunshots. You better believe by the time we got on the air last night, something had happened not far from here. Oh, I could hear the gunshots just as clear as day, just as clear as day. So I want that Obama library to hurry up and come so I can get the hell up off the south side. Yes, sir. All
I
right. Okay,
I know
Renee,
that's right.
we need a nugget of knowledge, my dear.
Oh, I got one for you. As today is Live Your Truth Tuesday, the biggest source of motivation are your own thoughts. So think big and motivate yourself to win. And again, this is Live Your Truth Tuesday. Hashtag motivate yourself to greatness.
Yay! For more information about hers truly, yours truly, and hers truly, it's Karen'sNuggetsOfKnowledge.com. Karen'sNuggetsOfKnowledge.com. Go there, find out more information about her. We really appreciate her. We thank you guys for joining us tonight. We did it in 1 hour and a few minutes. Very good. Tomorrow night,
Yes.
Rhonda Ross, daughter of legendary actress and singer Miss Diana Ross, and Barry Gordy will be here. And then we'll meet a professional female football player who will talk about equal pay for women in sports. Woke
Yes.
Woman Wednesday is what it's called. Yes, and a woke woman will be here in the co-host seat tomorrow night. The one and
You
only.
better believe it.
Yes. For more information about yours truly, please, you guys, go to therealchatdaddy.com. Therealchatdaddy.com is where you can find out more information about me. Please go to Facebook, YouTube, subscribe to the page, like us, follow us, and continue to tell other people to like and follow us. We'll be back tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Be well. God bless. And Chicago, let's cut out all of this crime and ridiculousness. We
Please.
love you guys. We do. We love you. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Nothing happens. Fingers crossed. Okay. Stay well.
Bye, guys. Be safe.
Talk to you guys later. I
Bye.
got to figure out how to make this happen. Look, my fingers are crossed. All right.
Uh-oh.
We out. We out.
Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show.